home. Don't get me wrong. Nothing is wrong with any of this shit, but men watch this content, and men like myself watch this content and really be listening. Now I know this is a long ass intro, but what we getting into again is what's actually going on. But going back to the 50-50 conversation, the 50-50 conversation speaks more to I don't. If this is that is the price, yo. If you want to be with me, black man, nigga, hey nigga, you Mr. Negro. Shout out to CGA. Relax. I know our dark skin niggas be getting mad. It's like saying, hey, you, Mr. Negro. Y'all really just don't understand. I'm sorry. Sometimes I became too passionate. I get caught up in thought. Sorry. Anywho, the rabbit hole goes so deep. Pause. Sorry. Listen. This is some sloppy streaming. Oh my god, we got so much. You know what? Yesterday I put myself in the Pause Hall of Fame several times. Accountability. Anyway, we gonna play this shit right here. Like I was saying before, like the 50-50 conversation is, I'm sorry, it came back to me now. The 50-50 conversation is mostly saying, Mr. Negro, this is gonna be the price of my submission. Because for the most part, that's what it's about. Like, all right, if you want access to me, right? If you want to be around me, if you want to be able to have sex with me, right? That's going to be the new price. Because really, the 50-50 conversation is about establishing the new price for black men. But what we are seeing is that the reason why black women can treat white men this way is because they actually look at them as men. And when it comes to white men, they will. I think all women pay too. Most women, that's a fucking lie. Women never tell you that she never paid for nothing, or she. Only kind of women that can get that off is like sugar babies. But if you're in a relationship, you're going to spend money. And if she's not, I ain't gonna lie, that is the issue. Now you should never need her money. I think that's what goes without saying. But if you know, if I know what, now fuck, we have to make sure that we don't leave no stone unturned because you broke niggas will be listening to me talk and then it'll just go over your head. No, you don't never want to have to need her money for nothing. Okay. A lot of y'all can't afford to have a car note, insurance, and rent, which means that you're not self sufficient. You don't have health care. Okay, sorry, I know I'm long introing, but so the story where we have here is proof that black women can indeed invest, that you can indeed use your imagination for to imagine where this man, well, basically what things could be, what the relationship could be. You can actually come into a situation with good faith. This woman did not only came into it with good faith, she came into it with a whole religion. I don't know if that joke is doing anything for you. I'm just saying.
It's always bound to happen to Onyeka for two major reasons.
I got that sound bite from this video right here. Shout out to Average Man Unplugged. So basically, this is a story about a divestor, a really desperate divestor. She was on the Bachelorette, thirsty as hell. I wish black women knew how they looked when they openly go into dating, actively pursuing white. I think one of the most damning things, I don't know if it's a damning thing, but I think it's one of the most enlightening facts that black men get to repeat. And I think it's the real thing, because even the other day I had my coworker. I think we was talking about, I don't know, some non-black men, and she just said, and they love black women. And it's like, yo, when I was younger, I used to hear that and be thinking, oh wow, really, right? Whereas now that I'm older and now that I've been in the space more, I kind of realized that when they say that, they saying that they like to smash black women, because a lot of black women, if they keep it a stack with you, their experiences with non-black men are not positive experiences objectively. They may speak about it affectionately, right? But those are most of the time, like, these are relationships where, like, yo, one night stand, or they just be having sex. You know what I'm saying? They friends with benefits, stuff like that. Cause man. And they always have at least a story about them expecting to have sex on the first night, or a story about them sodomizing them. one or the other. But anyway, so with this girl right here, she was on the Bachelorette. She actually did a whole. She told this whole story on her channel, but it's just she takes a really long time. So this kind of gets to the meat and potatoes of it. The story is basically about how met this white guy, and first of all, she says at one point in the story, he had blue eyes and blonde hair. That is very much a thing that a white person says. You know how crazy it is to hear a dark-skinned African woman say, yeah, he had blue eyes and blonde hair. Like, that sounds wild. You'll never hear a black man talking about a white woman's blue eyes and blonde hair to tell a story. But anyway, so the story is about, how they meet overseas and everything. One way or the other, he winds up swindling over $300,000 out of her and her friends and family. Okay, so she calls it the Danish deception. No, my nigga, I'm not gonna lie, man. This shit's kind of sad. This is some low self esteem. This if I ever seen it. Okay, but anyway, let's get into the story. Shout out to Average Man Unplugged. This is his channel. So, all right.
What's going on?
Make sure we Gucci.
It is your boy Ron back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So,
hey, subscribe to the channel too. I appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment about this topic. Which I feel about this. Talk to me.
I got another video from Remnant Princess, and when I saw the title and the thumbnail, I had to react to this because I was thinking to myself, ooh, man, this is a very, very bad look for the Divestors. And
in case you guys don't know, a divestor is generally black women who worship white men have hijacked this term. But come to find out, when we get into it, and that's why we talking to black men about this. Like, yo, I think a lot of men don't realize you don't have manly thoughts. Like, you don't have strong thoughts or thoughts that make you feel strong. Like, meaning that your way of solving things is not to actually do anything. Your way of looking at the world is I'm going to be an observer. I'm not going to be the person who changes things or sets an example or even makes a cause, right? And you don't realize that you're not about to take action. Black men have to take more account. Like, how do we raise our coochie credit? Because Brad has excellent coochie credit to the point where maybe not with white women all the time, but with other like women who are not white, all women who are not white, if you look on, when they do studies on this shit, white men are still the most desirable. He could be an ugly white man too, right? But anyway, so a lot of black men don't realize how much more desired white men are status wise. And a part of it is that, we're not as aware of the stereotypes. It's like, it's time for us to get our money up. It's time for us to start playing the game the way that the rest of the world plays it. Because a lot of black men, you get caught up in trying to be romantic. You get too caught up in trying to have like a relationship, and too caught up in that you want that validation. Like you want where's the woman brace? Where is it? Hold on. He want this shit right here.
Only to wrap you in.
Nigga, what?
My warm embrace, and I'll make it last forever, babe. I catch a glimpse of heaven when you let me wrap you in. My warm embrace. Stop playing with me,
nigga. That's what you want. Anyway, $100,000 coming. Let's get it.
What I can see, they seem to be pretty quiet about this one. But this isn't the first time we've heard a story from the divestor community like this. But this one right here, this one might be worse than that last one where we found out that the white dude was actually
go change that shirt. We're that shirt.
Not the breadwinner. He was actually the one being provided for. But Anyway, oh yeah, come to find out,
He's talking about Queen of Kings right now. So if you get a chance, go and Google Queen of Kings. They are like pretty much an influencer couple where but the whole theme is about them being, an interracial couple. It's a black woman and a white man, and their whole again, everyone has a gimmick. Everyone has kind of a thing. So they make a lot. They basically do TikToks and YouTube, right? And so they were in the news or in the YouTube news earlier last year, right in 2024, mostly for a live that Rose, the black woman, had put up, where she's just telling all of her husband's business. So when you see them, you see this petite, I think she's gorgeous, beautiful black woman, and this big 6'1", white man. You know what I'm saying? And I forgot who made this point. I think it was AC, a kind of a commentary. He was saying she realized that when it came to that content, the people weren't there to see her. Excuse me. They were there to see Brad. They were there to see her husband Brett, right? And with that, what she tried to do was put out there. So just in case he wanted to move on from her, she wanted to put out there, what's really going on. But the thing was, the story that she put out there in terms of how she marketed this channel was that I'm a stay-at-home mom. I had a black man, I had kids with a black man, but basically, despite all my poor life choices, because I tell you that is a Cinderella story. That's become the Cinderella story for black women. You know what I mean? And we don't realize, and I hate the fact that our women don't realize that that's a loser mindset. Anyone who wants life to happen to them that way, that's a loser mindset, because you're not taking action. Like things are so much sweeter. You enjoy so much more life when you're willing to go through the journey of sacrificing. And it's like, damn, a lot of you do not want to have a complete experience. A lot of you do not actually want to. I just fully invest. And I'm like for example, I was talking to my homeboy last night about weight loss, and he's lost a lot of weight because he's been able to do something that most people can never do, which is commit to something. How committed are you? I gotta ask myself that every single day when it comes to this journey, right? Especially with the content. I'm like, damn, it's important to ask yourself and to keep reestablishing your resolve. It's like, how committed are you to this thing? And this is why the women that's why y'all keep failing at these relationships. And not only that, because of how you see the world and your mindset, it also affects what you think winning is. Like, that's why we got to keep speaking on this shit. What's your relationship with winning? I had a conversation, with my brother, and he was talking about, a bit of an altercation that he had at work, and and he was again explaining it from his perspective, right? And it brought me back to when I was younger, and I had my altercations at work or just disagreements at work, and brought me back to when I had to outgrow this idea of thinking that, because I was able to speak my mind, or I was able to be aggressive towards someone, that was that I won in that situation. And that's how a loser thinks, because that's not a positive cause. Winning is winning, not the other shit. And again, winning in terms of you accomplished something, you got something, you learned something that you didn't know before. That's winning. This shit right here, dog, this ain't winning.
He's actually letting her sleep with other men. So he's a cuckold husband.
Let's fast forward.
Exception. Not only that, she's also known for it's going to be about a.
So why not? Probably get a good laugh out of this. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
He never asked her for money. She offered it. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Successful women are the easiest to scam.
Today's video is going to be about a.
I'm going to keep stopping it, right? But we need to touch on what that means, right? When she says that. Successful black. I'm going to tell you something right now. If you ever want to know for sure that you're looking at a successful black woman, right? Or you're looking at a smart black woman, or you're looking at a black woman who's educated and stuff like that, not all the time, but a lot of times, they will be a woman who at least know how to bring some money in. Brad do not fuck with broke Keishas. I'm trying to tell you, he really don't. Most of the time, I mean the other day, right? I was working. Also, yo, shout out to the customer that gave me a $52 tip. Pause. Shout out to you. Me and Levi, thank you. Levi, you said thank you? Okay. I seen this tall white guy, right? And he had this very dark-skinned black girl with him, and they were going food shopping. So obviously they were together and everything, right? And of course, I was confused, and I was thinking like, okay, well maybe she adopted, and she could very well be. And then I realized that then I said, hold on.
He shouldn't free.
What?
If she's standing outside, does that make her outstanding?
Well, goddamn.
Her mother got a good job. I looked at her, I saw them braids and said, her mother got a good ass job, okay? Because that's what's going on. But that ass though, a lot of times they either know how to make some money, or even in the Queen and King situation, Rose, which is the black woman, she's like an actual like sex worker, like actual like JUCO like sugar baby. All right, like someone who does soft sex work, which is like sugaring, where maybe you have a guy you see and maybe gives you an allowance, maybe pays in gifts and whatnot. Because during that live, she puts all that out there, and she kind of speaks on what their lifestyle actually is. And during that live, she also, the Queen of Kings lady also talked about, the money that she did spend. Now, whether or not she embellished certain things, we don't know. But like I said before, Brad, for the most part, do not fuck with broke Keishas, or do not fuck with black women who don't have no resources, whether you got a car, an apartment, something. She also said, he had to come move in with her. He was living in the basement, on the floor, which meant that, he was taking her to Pound Town on the mattress on the floor. Or she might as well have been in a van down by the river. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty original though, but it's cool though. I respect it though.
I heard it was big, but that sounds ridiculous.
A Nigerian-American female who goes by the name Onyeka. She has been going viral over her series called The Danish Deception. Not only that, she's also known for going on a dating show called The Bachelor, where people meet up and do different challenges, different activities to find the one. I really wanted to meet someone here, and I've been pretty unhappy here, and it's been for a while, and I can't give out a rose to anyone tonight, and I'm really sorry. I'm very sure.
So, I'm gonna give us a little more context. What was going on here was that, again, I think that it's a situation where this woman didn't realize how crazy you look as a black woman actively. Because again, it's different when you're doing it, right? And there's no cameras. If you can watch the show, you can watch her act like really, really thinking, okay, I'm going to cut. It's a bunch of white men here. They're seriously going to choose me over like white women, you know what I mean? And there's actually a scene that 6 the guys played. I'm trying not to make this no long ass video. I should go get it, but I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna say what she said. So 6 the guys makes this point where she says, and everyone he was talking about, she's so beautiful, this beautiful girl. To me, she's not beautiful at all. And I said, you know what? Whenever black women fuck up or they're in a bad situation, people online are always calling them beautiful. People say that about the girl that Kevin Samuels called average at best. And I remember when I was telling my boy about that video, matter of fact, we were talking about it, and he said, yo, that girl was ugly. And at that time, that was a shift in consciousness, because it really exposed how quick we get the lying when it comes to black women. Because people actually cape for that girl. People said they felt sorry for that girl. That below average looking girl, first of all, we've seen that girl from other angles, because she somehow got interviewed. She got an interview with some channel with some very, very, very soft looking black man. You know, one of those mustache only type niggas. Oh man, I have to get back to being funny. I gotta use that gun.
Tonight I want to see you use that gun.
No, chill for what? Who is this nigga? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. Like, for real, all that big homie stuff, that's for little.
So she didn't realize how thirsty you were going to look. And also the fact that white men, for the most part, they look at black women as like, all right, I know for sure I'm getting some action, right? And I don't want to say, fuck, I'm saying, just judging by the figure that white men are married to black women at a rate of 1 to 3%. If I said that, hey, you know, 1 to 3% of people in my family go to college, that would mean that no one in my family goes to college. If I said to you that, you know, it's probably about a 1 to 3% chance that you know, I'll see you again. That you would think, oh goddamn, I'm never going to see the six paths again. So we got to put that figure out there, because when it comes to these conversations, women they'll just lie. I think, again, I always say men have to be careful not to overmanage. Women got to be careful not to overimagine, because you get to where women don't realize that, yo, you just told a bold-faced lie, right? So this one right here been lying to herself for a long time. You know what? We might just do Danish Deception for today. I might do the Ebro shit tomorrow, because it's gonna take a long time to chop this fable. Let's see how far we get. Let's go. I'm here.
I knew my person's not there. I know I just don't have a hopeful feeling that he's coming either. The Danish Deception series is about 20 plus videos long, although here I'm going to chop it up and give us the meat from the bone. Danish Deception series is about a Nigerian female who met up with a white Danish man, got married, and got scammed in the end. The next video is going to summarize the entirety of it and how they met.
About $300,000 is how much back.
Yo, Sixth Goddess said, this nigga looks like a plumber from Virginia. Yo, we tell you something. It's just way too much data showing that, yo, what's funny is, all right, when it comes to like this looks level, this is probably on the higher end of looks for like Divestors. Divestors are always somewhere in this kind of range where, listen, I think she look attractive here. Like, ironically, in the other, on the Bachelorette, she not really, maybe it was that makeup, I don't know, or the hair, I don't know. But here she seems to really, have it, kind of have it together. But they always look somewhat like this, and there's always women around like this complexion and darker. Like, the darker she is, yo, the more she's willing to jump out the window for a white guy. Now, you ain't always going to see it necessarily, but now that we got the internet and TikTok, shit getting crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just rest in peace, Doris.
Her unknown, Onyeka, is saying that she, her family, her closest friends, and even a colleague were all scammed out of by one man. Man she once believed was her soulmate. His name, Martin Fursgaard Anderson. Charming blonde 6'3" real estate mogul who claimed he had royal ties, booming tech business, and wealth that would one day be theirs to share. Instead, Onyeka was left with years of...
So you can see in the background, right? So you can see that this is a TikTok, and it's a lot of photo ops, a lot of pictures and stuff like that, right? So this is one of I think one of the biggest scams. Cause black women really be scamming each other really hard. Matter of fact, we gonna get into that squatter story before we end the show and everything. Cause I want to also get into like how black women really be treating each other, and it needs to be talked about, right? Because it's cause on one hand, I think to a certain degree, people buy into things. They buy into certain ideas, and a lot of us blindly buy into, let's say, like pro-blackness, right? We blindly blindly buy into pro-blackness, meaning that we'll just hear things, we'll hear a series of things that kind of sound right. Or for example, with like conscious rap, right? I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Conscious rap mostly means that you don't have joints. It mostly means your songs aren't good. Because you wouldn't have to call it conscious. If the songs are just banging, you don't got to call it conscious. Because we didn't really have to call... Kanye's music wasn't really conscious like that, necessarily. He had conscious rappers on there, and he was using them as like an element, as a color, right, on a canvas. But he wasn't really conscious. But he kind of got put into that category. When we think about conscious rappers, a lot of times they didn't have singles like that. They wasn't able to give you them joints. They wasn't able to talk that shit, right? And not only that, they were usually kind of awkward. They were niggas who didn't look good and fit it. Like whenever niggas don't look good in streetwear, I'm sorry, you might be a lame. I hate to say that. I don't want to say that. I don't.
Chill
Hold
for
on,
what?
man.
What?
I'm
I'm not even speaking English.
I'm
I
a
don't know.
guy's
Maybe
guy.
I'm speaking Guyanese. You know,
speaking Guyanese right now. Saying no. All right, man. So, fuck. Let's keep it going.
trauma and coming to TikTok to tell her story, which she calls the Danish deception. It's a 26-part story, which she says began in June of 2022 when she decided to take a trip with her friend to Croatia. It was at a beach club when she noticed Martin immediately, and that was when he decided to approach her. He was confident, their chemistry was magnetic, and there was an instant spark.
We're gonna take a look at how did Onyeka and why did she find this man so attractive? What about him stood out in her eyes? And here she really does go into details about how she was left in awe in his presence within.
Like you see all this shit, right? It's one of the craziest grifts, because for the most part, there's a lot of influences where their whole gimmick is, listen, this is the ultimate idea of success. I mean, like, it's like, god damn. Let's keep it going. That's wild, right? I'm like, damn. but you got to think about it though. I mean, and that makes sense. Because I mean, like, when you look at our history, right? I know I'm kind of blanking out. When we look at our history, right, and we really just look at the progression of things, black men are so optimistic about black women, and we don't even be thinking about how they actually look at us, right? And we got to think about the fact that, yo, you know in your heart of hearts that you can never risk getting your ass kicked in front of your girl, or just taking L's in front of your girl, or just taking L's, period, if you got a girl. Because you understand, the older you get, the more you realize you cannot show weakness. Women sniff out fear and weakness, and women will manipulate weakness and fear at every chance, at every opportunity. Okay, matter of fact, I think I got a short. But anyway, matter of fact, that actually feeds into the next story about the squatter. But women will manipulate that shit. So you know you can't take L. So if black men had a history of being brutalized by the police, not being able to do so many different things because of white men, yo, and black women's minds, they thinking, all right, well, Brad's in charge. He's the person who's really in charge. So like, why would I want to listen to you if you're really in charge? And don't get me wrong, white men be beefing with their women too. But in terms of our image, in terms of like what you can experience out in the world and whatnot, that's a part of our culture. A lot of black men get nervous. If I say anything to the effect of living a life that benefits them, they get nervous. I was talking to my brother the other day, right? He gonna tell me I'm sounding Diddy-ish. I think I'll be letting him know. I said, listen, fam, there's a lot of young ladies that were at the junior college, that are in college, who need money on their books. You understand me? They need Uber money to get back and forth to school. A lot of that shit. And I'm like, you know, and I get it. You still a young bull, right? And we're in two different parts of our journey. And I had to say, bro, we not doing no dick policing. That's not masculine to tell another man who they can smash. It's weird. You got Tracy Ellis Ross out here, 52 years old, still thirst trapping and talking about begging younger men. Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing wrong with her, but Tracy Ellis Ross has always looked grown. If she can honestly think that a guy that's in his 20s is looking at her in the morning with no makeup on, thinking, you know, no, man, no. No, you buying Jordans. Okay? You put money on that PS5, baby. Okay? You buying a nigga, you buying them Capri Suns. You understand?
You're a rich nigga, but it's cool though. You still know. I
saying,
respect it
shit.
though.
It was always bound to happen to Onyeka for two major reasons. Seconds.
Look,
I'm like, yeah, but because I've watched these Bachelor or Bachelorette shows.
and I'm look up and I see this very attractive man. And the first thing that came to my mind was, this man looks like he is walking straight out of a Calvin Klein ad. And I'm telling you guys, 6'3", blonde hair, blue eyes, chiseled skin, so tan, muscles everywhere. I was definitely taken aback, and I feel like it takes a lot for me to really.
That guy was not handsome. I'm sorry. That wasn't a handsome guy. Sorry. You see this shit? That guy is not. I mean, don't get me wrong. He has like the like masculine look going on. Like I can see that and whatnot, but I can guarantee you that most white women do not find him attractive. Matter of fact, there's going to be reactions from white women, and you know what's bad. And shout out to 60 guys. She said the same thing. You know what's bad when Becky got to pop out and say, "Fam, you got caught up in this shit because you think too highly of this nigga." I keep trying to tell you that, yo, he ain't shit. Like, white women hate white men, okay? But at the same time, they have an understanding of, if I talk down too bad about my male counterpart, it make me look crazy too. I may tell stories and whatnot, right? But I never issue on my baby mother because that make me sound crazy and look crazy if it's my baby mother and I think so lowly of her. Or I actually like insult her or say insulting things. If you ever hear me mention my baby mother, like I talk about a story or a thing that happened, I don't be going into you this person or that person, right? Because again, it doesn't help anything. You understand?
Double take a man just based on his looks like that, and 100%, I was a little bit just in awe. I didn't even realize that he was like with a friend. You know, we started talking about like hypotheticals. I remember he told me one day, he said, you know, if we ever end up getting married, you're gonna meet the queen. And I remember just like laughing at that comment. And he said, no, I'm being serious. And I said, what do you mean I'll meet the queen? And he said, well, you know, my family has a royal title. And I was like, wait, what? And he sent me this link to this site. It's called the Order of the Elephants. And he's like, you can do some research and then we can talk about it. And I said, okay. So I start going through the page that he sent me, and I see someone that had the same last name as him, like some old guy from like the 1700s. And I remember taking a screenshot and I said, is this your great great grandpa? And he goes, now you're getting on track. My next question to you is how.
So most white men who date black women, especially when they're successful black women, they're almost always about to do a grift. So what you're going to hear in the story is, this is something that a lot of scammers do. What they will usually do is they find ways to make it seem as though they have money, or they find ways to have proximity. So I'm going to give you an example. So that name is Anna Sorkin. She was the girl who almost got like a $20 million loan from a bank to do this art gallery thing, and she basically conned I don't know if it was a fashion world, but basically she conned like all these people in New York City into thinking that she was a German heiress who had all this money, and what she basically did was find ways to kind of get away, with like getting room and board for free and getting clothes for free. And her friend pointed out how she would do small things to make it seem as though she had money. So she was able to make a little bit of money seem like a lot of money, right? And what she did was, let's say she was out to eat with some people, she would make it a point to make sure that people saw that she tipped $100, right? So she maybe only had $2,000, but she took the opportunity to tip $100 so that the people around her would think, oh yeah, she has money. So when it was time for her to borrow money, so one big part of that story was the fact that she had a friend who worked at Vanity Fair, and she had a corporate card, and she told her friend, I want to take you on a trip to, I think it was Peru, somewhere really far back. I forget. And basically, she couldn't pay for the trip. and she knew her friend had the corporate card, and obviously at some point she confirmed. And the white girl's probably lying. She probably asked it beforehand. But the way that her friend told the story was that the hotel was demanding payment. Now, mind you, it was a lavish vacation. It was a lavish luxury resort. Okay, it cost like thousands of dollars. I'm talking about like, I think like $30,000-$40,000, something crazy, right? To stay there. It was completely unnecessary. Now, mind you, the girl said she was under the impression that I'm being taken on a trip, right? So, anywho, anyway, so I got distracted. So that was the whole that was one big part of that story. But I bring it up because she was able to get her friend to be comfortable doing that because of the things she did in the past and these little how can I say these signals of wealth, right? So that's what old boy was doing in this situation, right? And she's gonna go deep into the ins and outs and everything and how he started being separated from her wealth in a moment, but I wanted to kind of point that out as well.
How's your etiquette?
How deep we into this?
And I was like, I mean, I think it's okay. And so I'm sitting here like, who is this man? He's attractive. He has a great job. He has a royal title. Like, is there anything wrong with him at this point?
So the initial attraction was there. Black was gonna buy. They're the easiest ones to scam, and I believe it. Things out.
Marriage. Not only did they meet each
And throwing my opinions out there and just kind of put two and two together. But hey, y'all may see it different. Let me know in the comments so far.
after the
Subscribe
spark,
to the
after
channel, yo.
intense chemistry, their relationship only grew and became an official marriage. Not only did they meet each other's families, they also made a TikTok couples page where they flaunted their love for each other and flaunted their relationship.
Picked up some flowers for Martin's mom, and I got my son. Time to head to the airport. Clean my favorite
Right, it's true. And my wife came and made especially for you. Good. Now culture, if you don't do those conditions, you really haven't married the lady.
Cheers to that.
As we can see, they're both definitely accustomed to each other's culture, language, tradition, as much as they could in their own way. Onyeka left the door wide open for Dana's deception to take everything that was hers. Not only that, he also took from the people that she dearly loved and cared about.
So my little sister looks at me and she says, he took $3K from me. And I am just silent for like 5 seconds. And I want you all to picture a horror movie in your mind and picture the screams in that horror movie. I can guarantee you the screams that were heard from me were 10 times worse. It was the most heartbreaking moment of my entire life.
I don't know, that sounds like really phony, but let that marinate for a second. So you gotta realize that she wasn't the only one that was invested. I'm trying to tell you, Brad got good credit. You know what kind of credit you gotta have for people to part with these large sums of money? She said that her sister gave him thousands of dollars, right? And when they get deeper into the story, you're gonna find out that basically, he was telling her friends and family, don't tell her. Do not tell her that you gave me this money because I'm going to surprise her. Something else too. When you really want to do something, you will ignore all red flags. Because I'm going to tell you something. If black men want to know what submission look like, if black men want to know what it looks like for a black woman to really be happy with someone, look at these videos. Let me tell you something. So, that has to be your standard. No, and I'm dead ass too. If a black woman, especially with any kind of woman, if she don't show you off the way she's showing this nigga off right here, bro, she don't want you. And you know what I've been explaining in my mind a lot more often is like scarcity mindset and like what that means. And like so for example, I had came to this conclusion of like, you know what? Not that I was going to, right? But I was like, damn, you know what? Like, yo, there is no need to bang girls from your gym. There is no need to bang girls from like any place that you frequent that you be at. Which I already knew that, but a lot of guys are not able to turn shit down. Or a lot of guys not able to realize all you're going to do is create a problem for yourself. All you're going to do is create a distraction for yourself. It's two places you don't want to be distracted at: the gym and at work. Okay, like and I remember like it was a quick second when I was kind of showing interest in this girl at work, and already I'm like, you know what, oh no, I don't like this shit. It's distracting. I don't like this shit at all. But no, but real talk. And I mention this because it's important for men to understand, yo, you cannot be treating any opportunity or any woman as if this is the only one. Or this is my only opportunity. That's one of the double standards of being a man. Is that you don't have to live that way. For sure.
Oh, chill for what? Who is?
My little sister is like, she's my world, and to know that he took advantage of her was just, it was so heartbreaking. And in that moment, I 100% fell out of love with him, and it was like the spell that was on me had been broken. I went from survival mode to clarity in a matter of seconds. Then I realized, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not the only one. So the first person I called is one of my close friends, Chris, and him and his wife, they're pregnant with their first kid and they're buying their first house. Obviously, money's tight. And I called him and I said, did you give money to my ex? And he goes, yeah, I did. I called my friend Rob and asked him, did you loan money to my ex? And he said, yes, I did. Called one of my friends that I've known since high school, asked him, did you give my ex money? He said, yes. He loaned him money as well. And then I made a call to my cousin and I asked him, I said, did you loan?
God damn, how many, God, dog. So he was able, she named like 5 people. I keep saying, real talk, yo. I mean, the thought comes and it goes, but I'm like, God damn, bro, scamming is mad profitable. So he was able to scam not only her, but the people around her because you thinking that you're gonna have like maybe one person. First she said the sister, then she went to a couple that's expecting a baby, and they just bought their first house, and then she keeps going. First of all, how was he able to get? How did he have all their phone numbers? When did he collect the phone numbers of all these people to be able to talk to them on the side? Yo, let me tell you something. Shit. The real question is, yo, did he smash the sister? And then the other question is, when someone is this good at they grift and they able to get this much money from somebody, a lot of times they're never the only one. If you get a chance, go look at the Tinder Swindler. The Tinder Swindler really showed how much women have become kind of trapped in their own hypergamy or their own pursuit of hypergamy. Especially like women like this who actually have had some kind of success, because I think social media more than ever makes them want to have a certain visual, ability to create a certain visual. Let me tell you, it is great to be able to take pictures with someone that you look good with, or again, like being nicely dressed with your woman and whatnot. You know what I mean? It's nice to be able to look good in pictures together, right? But it also puts pressure on people to look for a picture perfect couple, and every couple is not picture perfect, right? And but what can happen is you will overlook your actual more reasonable options because you're looking for that picture. And don't get me wrong, some people can accomplish it, some people can't, right? But women like this in particular, specifically this lady right here, like the picture that she wants to create is like, all right, I have the career, I have the body, I somewhat have the looks. Now all I need is the ultimate validation, which is a white man. You understand? And yeah, bro. But with the Tinder swindler, he did a very similar thing where he was able to basically he would use the money that he got from one woman, right? So he get one woman to open up credit cards, so he gets his line of credit, and he would use that woman the credit card that she opened, and then go use that money to impress and swindle the next woman, and so on and so forth. And he was able to accomplish this because he had certain signals of wealth, right? He was able to curate an image. And that's what I'm saying too. Like, yo, black men gotta understand the importance of image and put more effort into our image. And I think the whole conversation about the senior citizen thing, which at the end of the day, I feel like the angle that Mano and them is using is kind of lame because it predicates on this idea that certain people can't critique certain people, or certain people can't joke on certain people, which is like, nah, nigga, it's not life. It's not how things go. You understand me? Anywho, damn, we already at that hour mark. All right, you know, we gonna go ahead and just do this and the girl who got evicted, and I'm gonna get into other shit tomorrow, man, because it's already getting late.
I asked money and he said yes. So
Man, we're not crying. I don't see no tears coming to her eyes. Don't listen. Don't listen to women who cry without crying. Like she wiped her face mad times. Like her eyes not red or nothing.
I find another friend that he owed $10,000 to. One of my coworkers that I used to work with, she told me that her husband gave him $10,000 to. The lies it was a variety of different lies. One person, he said that he was investing in a plot of land. Another person, he said that he was buying a car. The same lie about how his Danish account, his personal account aren't, like, he's having issues transferring money in between. And let me make something very, very clear. Every single person that he took money from, he told them explicitly not to tell me. And it's in text and it's in the receipts. He said, do not tell her, it's a surprise. I'm getting this car as a surprise. I'm getting this watch for her as a surprise. I'm buying this land as a surprise.
I'm really listening though, but it's cool though.
It's cool though.
I respect it though.
I did the whole show in Chicago with the bean out.
Nigga,
First time going.
he had it out there with the bean out. Y'all let that brand make a fool out of y'all, man. That shit crazy, folks. Shit crazy. All right, man. We gonna play a little more of this shit. Then we're gonna wrap it up, man.
All a surprise to me, which makes me so, so sick.
I'm not even gonna hold you. This is diabolical, but I gotta keep it above. That is a smart move.
He said that's a smart move. All right, go ahead, average man. All right, let me fast forward a little bit to the shit.
And at that point, I'm like, it is time for me to call my parents. And I was so nervous because I'm like, my parents at this time didn't even know that I was married. So now I have to tell them all these things. On top of that, I have to tell them that I'm legally married. And so I get home, I call my dad, and I'm telling him, hey, I need to talk to you. He's like, what's going on? I go, he's not coming back. And I proceed to tell him about the addiction, the money, everything. And then I asked my dad, I go, but please tell me he didn't take money from you. And my dad goes, don't worry about that right now.
So he got her father too. So basically he scammed this. Now mind you, you see that video where my man is sitting there sharing a beer and all this shit. I'm like, man, let me tell you something. We don't be realizing how low our self-esteem is, because for the most part, in the eyes of actual white folks, I'm sure white people could read the fuck out of him. Matter of fact, we're gonna jump ahead to the commentary from the white girls. Hold on. This is crazy when the Beckys is jumping on y'all asses. Come on, man. Let's get it.
Friend, her sister, and her parents, it broke the internet. Everyone had something to say, not only about the man himself, but also about Onyeka and what they really thought about her.
It should never have been called the Danish deception. It should have been called the desperate American. Sorry, I said it. It should have been called the woman who was so desperate.
Behold, Black American culture influencing the world. This is called a read. This is like someone speaking a different language. This is some shit this is a very Black thing she's doing. The way she's holding the camera, the way she's holding her face and whatnot, she's basically reading her. She's reading the Keisha like a Keisha. Y'all done got the way white girls can read y'all like the way y'all can really like. I don't know how to explain this shit, but like white boys can't really talk shit like Black men. Like they can't make it sound fly like Black men. They can't talk shit without it sounding like they're mad type shit. You know what I mean? Anywho, but yeah, she's reading her.
To marry, that she ignored 857,000 red flags, gave away her entire life savings, and then begged the man to stay with her after he robbed her and tried to flee the country, and then offered to drive him his passport. It should have been called the woman who sensed a tiny little bit of money in a man she met while traveling, so hung the fuck on for dear life until he drained her and her family's entire savings accounts. Like, it should have been called the woman who, when she was on the bones of her ass and had not $2 to rub together, traveled halfway around the world with a man who robbed her. That's what it should have been called.
Somebody said that she would have never sent him this money if he was Black or Nigerian, and that is 1,000% true. Because if you're a millionaire, number one, if you're a millionaire and you cannot come up with $6K, you're lying. Number two, go to the bank, get a loan, you're a millionaire. They'll give you that in 6 seconds. Why are you asking me? Not only was she...
Why is this sister in the bathroom? Keisha, get out of the bathroom, man. You can't do videos in the bathroom, Keisha. But anyway, so it's not that much else to say about that. But let's go ahead and discuss what we just saw. Okay, Keisha, got mad love for you, but this should look crazy. All right, so I think it's really time for y'all to start having heart-to-heart conversations, and I'm dead ass though, about letting this fantasy go. I've seen like several terrible, and I'm being serious, terrible stories of young Black women getting dismembered not by non-Black men, like actually getting murked. And these aren't dudes who like where like they stole from a safety deposit box or it's something to do with crypto, some kind of conspiracy. No, they just met them on a dating app. This was from dating. It's not because they have a family history and her father murdered his father and now he's getting revenge on a daughter. No, they were just going out. It went from going out and she thinking, okay, I met a white man, right, and to being dismembered. And I mean, like these girls getting cut up, these girls having their body parts spread around the world on some. It sounds like one of them movies with the kind of plot that gets you in the war. But I'm not gonna watch that movie. Like Brendan Fraser in The Whale. I'm not watching The Whale, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I got my hair done.
I just got my hair done. Bitch said I got my hair done.
I'm going to just keep hitting that sound bite because that shit is hard. I just got my hair done. Bitch, I just got my hair done. All right, man. What else we got here, man?
She was begging to give this man...
My bad. I want to play this shit with the squad. So, I played this story I forgot the other day. This is the saddest shit ever, man. It just